Good afternoon and welcome to the Job School. I hope you guys are doing amazing and you've been keeping well on your job search journeys. So I hope you guys joined us the last time when we sat here and talked about from seen to hired, how to get your online job seeker profile that will get you noticed. We discussed, and I hope you went and checked your profiles and make sure that you use all the tips and tricks that we shared with you to update your profile. So today, before we get into today, let me just introduce myself. My name is Tuli Nekama, and I'm the digital marketing manager here at Pnet. So today, we are bringing another topic, exciting topic that will help you on your job search journey. So today's topic is from application to interview, how to decode a job ad. And we're going to cover a number of things. Let me just get to them. We're going to cover which job ads do you apply for, how to spot a job scam, how to decode a job ad, tailoring your CV and cover letter for specific roles, and setting up job ads. But this is a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to be doing that by myself. As you can see, Michelle, please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Tuli. I'm Michelle Dobson, so I am head of brand here at Pnet. I have been in the marketing space for a very, very long time. I've been a job seeker, for a couple of decades. Currently an ex-job seeker, which is great. And I also have recruited a number of people for various teams in various businesses I've worked for. So obviously combined with that experience and combined with information that we get from our recruiters that we work with here at Pnet, we're going to share those more tips and tricks that Tuli spoke about a second ago.
Guys, please make sure that you drop the questions on the comments throughout the session. What really do you want to know how to decode a job ad? And I hope by the end of the session, you guys will get insights on how to decode job ads. And just we're trying to make it not more confused. I mean, when you look at the job descriptions, you're just like, oh my gosh, no. After this session, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah,
break it down. Yeah.
You're gonna be like, yeah. So let's just get to it, Michelle. So in our previous live stream, we took our job seekers through how to build the profile, and when we look at it from a Pnet perspective, obviously, how to make sure your profile is at 100%. We told them about how to, put skills, job experience, and all of that. So, but today we're saying, okay, we gave you all this information. What now? So I guess today we're just gonna be unpacking what now. We've got a proper profile that's out there. You are being seen by recruiters, but
what's the next step?
Yeah. So can you just share a little bit about what now?
Sure. So we spoke a lot in the previous live stream about the way in which recruiters recruit. And remember, when I talk about recruiters, I mean anybody who is trying to fill a vacancy for either a client, if they're a recruitment agency, or for a vacancy in their own business, if they're part of the HR team or whatever it is. So recruiters refers to anybody that's trying to fill a vacancy, whether for a company hiring directly or for a recruitment agency. And we covered in the previous live stream that there are two broad ways in which recruiters recruit. The first one is to headhunt or search in the database, and that's why it's so important to make sure your profile is up to date, especially your contact details, and that you've made your profile visible as well. And then the second way, which is probably the more obvious way, is or the most well-known way, is to actually apply for a job ad that you come across online, and that's where we're going to spend most of our time today, is talking about that application process when you apply to an online ad.
That is great news. So guys, do remember, recruiters, they headhunt, and you also should apply for the job. So don't forget. So obviously, I didn't mention that. So yeah, at Pnet, we get an average of like 30,000 live jobs at any given time. That's a very huge and very impressive number, Michelle. But that could be quite overwhelming because it's 30,000 live jobs over, I want to say 24 to 25 sectors. But what how should they then make a decision? Should I apply for this job or should I let this one go? Just to save their time and your profile.
Yeah. So I think before we talk about the what they apply for, let's maybe quickly mention the how. So it might be worth just talking a little bit about the Pnet mobile app. So once a job seeker has gone and created their profile on a PC, we then recommend that they go and download the Pnet app because it just makes browsing and applying for positions a lot easier. It's kind of on you all the time. It's got the same filtering tools as a job seeker would have access to on the website. So they can, from the app, they can filter by, various criteria, location, type of job, whether it's full-time, part-time, remote, salary brackets, role type, etc., etc. So the same filtering tools that are available on the website can also be used on the mobile app. And it is available for both Android and iPhone. And you can actually even set up job alerts via the app as well.
Yes, I would like just to talk about that, but that's for now the job alerts. We'll just get into details a bit later. But I just want to, because now you just spoke about application, and as much as we wouldn't want to talk about this, but unfortunately we have to address it. That application comes with its own negative ways. So Michelle, just maybe for like a minute, let's just talk about how can job seekers be aware and protect themselves from scammers out there.
Yeah, as you say, it's not a nice topic, but we'd rather address the elephant in the room than skirt over it. Unfortunately, as is the case wherever there's opportunity, there's going to be a criminal element, and unfortunately, the recruitment industry doesn't skip that. So the very, very first rule is if you come across a job ad for a company that you're not familiar with, and you're interested in applying, go and research that company online. So go and find their website address, see if they're active on social media, just do a Google search and see what comes up. Sometimes reviews come up, sometimes PR or media articles that the press have published, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. You'll probably get a good sense just by going online as to what that company is all about and whether they look legitimate. Another rule is so also look out for the email domain. That's a big one. So if companies are using like a free email agent like a Google or Yahoo or Hotmail, that can sometimes be a bit of a red flag. But that's not to say that companies using those domains are not legitimate. There are plenty of small businesses that do use free email addresses. So, but that's just an extra check that you would want to do if you were a bit cautious or being cautious about the application. Another thing is if there's a payment request, major red flag. It's a job, and a recruiter's not going to ask you to part with money before in order to get that job or even to come for an interview. So if you've got that as a request somewhere along the line, run away very fast. And the other thing is it's poorly written messages. It's an email. Are poorly written, the grammar is not good, or it addresses you as dear candidates that don't actually have your name. Also, major red flag. And obviously, if you received the job interview for a application or job you didn't apply for, that's chances are that's a bit of a scam going on there. I think the rule of thumb is if it looks too good to be true, in terms of the job ad, amazing benefits, you know, insane salary for very little work, yeah, then it probably is. So trust your instincts when you're going through job ads like that.
Yeah, I mean, I also get those people. I get a random WhatsApp and saying, "Here's a job offer." Like, I don't know you. Who are you? Yeah. So please.
Also, they can't take you.
Yeah. I'm just like, who are you? Delete. But yeah. But on that note, I also want to ask, because Pnet is also in the space of recruitment. So what is Pnet? What are the processes that Pnet has to verify the customers? Because the recruiters, they come to Pnet as a customer and they put their job listing on our platform. But does Pnet have a way to verify if these customers are really legit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the very first thing that we would do when a new customer comes on board or wants to come on board is exactly the same process that I've just said now for job seekers, is we would go online. We've got a team that will verify all of our customers as authentic. First thing they'll do is go online, make sure, do the same thing, Google search, check that there's an active website, check that they're active on social media, do a Google search for any reviews or PR articles. They will also work with a couple of third-party sources, very reliable third-party sources, which we'll use again as an extra check. The team will actually physically phone those contact numbers that are listed in the application forms to engage with a real live person at that company. And yeah, also check out for email addresses and domains, make sure that looks all legitimate. We'll also check the VAT number, if the VAT number is registered with SARS. If any of that, raises any concerns, then we will actually request a company registration document from the company. All companies have to be registered with the CRPC to make sure, as a company in South Africa. So regardless of whether they have an online presence or whatever it is. So if anything feels odd or a little bit off, then our team will request that CRPC document and make sure it's an authentic customer, an authentic recruiter.
Oh, cool. Thank you that we've addressed that. We just wanted you guys to be careful of things on social media, when you read about things. So take precautions, make sure that you always do your research just before either you apply or you accept an interview. So let's move to the next. Okay, this Michelle, hear from a lot of recruiters that job seekers, they apply for a lot of jobs, and most of these jobs they're not suited for. People will just click apply and send their CVs, just hoping that something will be there. But I want to know, when should a job seeker then apply for a job? I know there are industry tips when it comes to decoding a job ad. What should they look out for? And then they should be like, you know what, this is the.
Yeah, so it's a good question. So also because the recruiters, we get a lot of job seekers that are uncomfortable or will complain about how they get ghosted by recruiters.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, if recruiters are getting too many applications that are not quality candidates for that particular job ad, they're not going to get a chance to reply to everybody. Recruiters with the tools to be able to do, bulk letters of regret. But it's not in the job seeker's best interests either. Because if you don't match the job vacancy, the chances are that there's a better candidate out there for sure. So rather focus your time and effort on where you have a good match in terms of experience and skills. So the starting point is essentially to read the job description. No brainer. But looking out specifically for things like experiences, qualifications, skills, and trying to identify where you have and the extent to which your skills, experience, and qualifications match with that job ad. You know, again, talking from a rule of thumb, if you match about 70% or more, it's probably a good idea to go for it. If you have less than a 70% match, chances are, as I say, that you'll probably not be shortlisted, and there will likely be another candidate, or a good few candidates that are better qualified for that position.
That's a really good advice, Michelle. So, guys out there, when you're reading the job description, just go through it, look at what they're listing. If it's 10 of them, if 7 of them you qualify, then apply. If less than that, then maybe go ahead and look for something else. You will definitely find your match if you have the skills and the experience. Michelle, what exactly then should the job seeker look for in the job spec? Okay, now obviously I'm reading it. Now let's just go to what should they look up to actually decode it and get to the place where they're comfortable enough for them to click on that.
Yes, I think the first thing is the job title. I mean, the job title will give you a good idea of what the actual role entails, what you're going to be expected to be doing, and will also give a decent clue as to the seniority of that position. So, for example, in brand marketing, the career trajectory is usually a marketing coordinator to a brand manager. Brand manager very seldom has people responsibilities, but they're managing the brand. Then they'll move into a marketing manager role where there's generally people responsibilities, and then either a head of brand or a head of marketing, above that a director of marketing, and then a CMO, a chief marketing officer. So that would kind of be my career trajectory. So by understanding the role, or by interpreting the role, I would know more or less whether that job means there's people under me, I'm managing budgets, what I'm expected to do, that sort of thing. And then the second thing to look out for is as I mentioned, those experiences, education, and qualifications, because sometimes the job spec will actually list what are the must-haves. So those are actually the deal breakers. If they're listed as must-haves, then you don't have those skills, qualifications, or work experience, it's probably best to walk away. But if it's listed as advantageous, it means exactly that. It would be advantageous for you to have those skills, but if you knock their socks off in an interview, and you've got the must-haves, chances are you'll land that job regardless, and they'll do on-the-job training or skills updates or whatever.
Yeah, so Michelle, you mentioned qualifications and responsibilities. What about soft skills? Because this seems to be like a really, really buzzword in the recruitment industry right now. Soft skills, everywhere you go, soft skills. So what about them?
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time talking about skills in our first live stream. So, I would encourage anybody who hasn't seen that to go and check it out. But as a reminder, your hard skills is essentially your technical skills. So it's your measurable skills, usually gained through or teachable skills that are gained through some sort of formal or informal training, and you've learned those skills. So, as a student or a graduate, it would be your qualification. But, and then your soft skills, so it would be things like proofreading or copywriting or project management. But your soft skills refers to almost like your personality traits or your characteristics that are going to make you a good employee. And those are things that are learned through life. Life skills, certainly through work experience, but it's things like communication, teamwork, critical thinking, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you've done the homework around your skills. You would have had to reflect on your skills before this part of the journey anyway, to be able to populate your profile with as many soft and hard skills as possible. Because remember, that's what recruiters will look for in your profile and your CV. And then evaluate the extent to which the job spec skills match what you've listed in your profile.
I know maybe there is a little bit of a difference when you talk about soft skills, but can you please explain transferable skills, like the difference between soft skills and transferable skills?
Yeah, absolutely. So transferable skills is It's basically if you're new to the world of work, if you're new to the world of work, or if you are having a career change, then you would want to highlight your transferable skills. So if you're, for example, in IT support and you want to move into customer support, then you wouldn't necessarily list your IT skills, but there would be transferable skills that you've got through being part of that support team that will still hold you in good stead for your customer support, this new career in customer support. So transferable skills, if you're new to the world of work, would be those soft skills that you've learned through life or through volunteering or charity work, anything like that you want to highlight that will make you a good employee. Again, things like teamwork, communication, budgeting, that sort of thing.
Cool, amazing. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for that. But I just also want to ask, is it really, really necessary for job seekers to, customize their CVs or their cover letters for every single job they apply for? Like, they already have a profile that's up there. They've already added their soft skills, their hard skills, and experiences up there. So how necessary is it for them to just keep updating it?
The short answer is yes, unfortunately. We probably don't want to hear that, but the short answer is yes. Especially your cover letter. Your cover letter, and we'll probably talk about CVs and cover letters a lot in our next live stream. But in essence, you want your cover letter to show how you stand apart from the rest of the candidates. So, your cover letter, you want to pick up words that are in the job description that match that particular sector or that particular role, so that it's not a generic letter that definitely not a generic letter that summarizes your CV. So that's a big mistake that job seekers tend to make, is they use it as a summary of their CV. But you want to go through the job description and almost answer each of the sections: skills, qualifications, education. Highlight that you have all of these things that they're asking for, and then obviously the details then in your CV. So tailoring your cover letter, I would say, is a very, very good idea to set yourself apart. And on the Pnet system, you would upload each cover letter or each cover letter for an application as a supporting document. The CV is a little bit trickier, so it is also a good idea to adapt your CV for a particular role or sector, because you want to, highlight the experiences, skills, and qualifications, and even accomplishments or accolades relevant to that particular role. But but that would mean that for every job application, you need to go and upload a new CV and make sure you're attaching that latest CV. So it's not impossible. As with anything in the recruitment industry, it just requires a little bit more effort and a little bit more focus.
And I really do think when it comes to a cover letter, like you said, just check what the recruiter wants and then respond to it. Just say, yes, I have 5 years experience. Yes, these are the skills that I have on your cover letter. So I think that's a really, really good takeaway on how to decode that job ad.
The other thing, just to mention again, it will be something we unpack probably in our next job scoop live stream, but is that your CV will probably go through an ATS first, which is an application tracking system. So the way that online recruitment works is it will go through a system to be kind of verified that there's certain keywords that match the job description, and so you want to make sure that there's no typos, you've proofread it, that everything's good there. You want to make sure that you haven't spent too much time putting heavy photos in or putting too much of a design on your CV. The content of that CV is a lot more important than how pretty it looks, because that's going to get through that ATS.
Yes, I'm definitely going to have a full session where we just dive into how to create that CV and make sure that it fits the standards, the recruitment standards. But I also want us to mention this, Michelle. I'll team this effect. Yeah, questions.
Yes, support.
Yeah. Yes, we have, we just see your questions, guys, and we'll get to let's just finish this one part. Let's just finish this one part and then we'll get to your questions. Just keep sending them, we will respond on them. If we don't respond during the show, and I'm sure our support team will keep responding on your comments there, or comments. Cool. I mean, we know that South Africa has like a really high unemployment rate, especially among the young people. But that doesn't really obviously mean that then we should just apply for every role that is out there, every job listing they come across, and let's just keep applying. So they need to know and understand what roles they're suited for or that they're not suitable for. So what's your take on this? Like, should they just apply and hope everything lands, or is there a trick or some sort of a way of them to work around the how?
Yeah, I mean, you in particular will know very well that we see a number of reviews come through from job seekers to say they've applied for 500 jobs in 3 months. You know, that is a worry as a recruiter, because firstly, could you possibly have had the skills to set a more than a 70% match on all of those 500 jobs that you've applied for? Yeah, the chances are probably good that you do not possess the right skills for all 500 jobs. So obviously, the unemployment rate and the competition in the job market is scary. But applying for jobs that you're not suited for is not the answer, unfortunately. My advice to a job seeker would then be to really go and think about what your career trajectory looks like. So, as I mentioned earlier, from a brand marketing point of view, I know that these are the steps or the ladders that I need to climb through to get to a particular position. So, and each step I would understand what are the skills gaps, what are the things I need to learn to move into the next level of that job. So this role didn't include budgeting, but I know if I want to become a marketing manager, it's going to require budgeting or people management. Apply for roles where you have a 70% or more match, but always identify what that gap is that you're missing. If you have less than 70% match, and trying to fill those gaps, either through formal training or there's tons that can be done in the informal space, free online education, mentoring, etc., etc.
Give them the opportunity to see where they can upskill for them to get that 70%. Yeah, like it is really tough out there, but always evaluate if this is a fit for you or not, because you end up applying for 500. I think you end up also frustrating yourself because you feel like maybe you're not good enough, because why do I keep applying and not getting anything? So just spend some time and just look at the job spec, go through it, just count. If they less than 15 things, count 70% of them, then you apply. So Michelle, we've covered quite a lot. I mean, we spoke about the previous time we spoke about the quality profile, and now we touch on how to spot a job scale, what job roles that you should apply for. And then we also touched a bit about how to customize your cover letter, which you also gave a few tips about that. So now, let me just assume that the job set has done all of that. It's nice, go do it. So you've done all of that. And then now, what then on the Pnet platform that can help me to stay up to date with the job listing that are coming.
Yeah, so basically if they've done all of that, have you done all of that? Then the obvious thing is to go and search and browse the Pnet website, or if you've downloaded the app, to do that on the mobile app. But you can also set up job alerts.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
So job alerts, job alerts, you can go, if you've already created a profile, you can set it up on the app. If you're on the website, you can just click where you would log in on the top right-hand corner, and there's a drop-down there to set up job alerts. And you can set them up to receive those job alerts as and when jobs become available in your sector, and you can actually list the criteria of jobs that you want to be notified about. So the same things that you would list to search is essentially what you would list as your criteria: specific roles or titles, location, salary, what else? Type of work, etc., etc. And yeah, and then those emails will come directly to your inbox as and when something new is published by a recruiter or a new vacancy becomes available on our platform.
So guys, do set up job alerts. It is really, really helpful because you get reminded of every job opening that obviously fits your criteria. On your email, you get the email and then you apply for the job. But right now, I'm going to have to go to the questions.
The support team will be happy with that.
I have to go to the questions. We have a question from Tembega Prudence Madrona, who says, how does one apply for a job on Pnet? Or how can recruiters get your CV? All my applications are not responded to. Michelle.
No, so you take that one. Yeah, I guess that's just reiterating what we've spoken about is, make sure that you are applying, not responding to, make sure you are applying to jobs that you have a good 70% match for. And again, make sure you have a quality profile, make sure you've listed all the things we discussed in the original live stream, at the end of August. The quality of your profile is going to be a big indicator as to whether you get shortlisted or not. But if you have a quality profile and you put all this amazing content in there, but you are just not a good match for that job, then unfortunately you're not going to be shortlisted.
Yeah, and also Tembega is talking about how do you apply a Pnet. I mean, we obviously spoke a lot about, we just talk about job alerts, how to build your criteria and all of that. So please make sure, and also remember guys, we do say this a lot, that Pnet is not a recruitment agency.
Yes.
So we're not a recruiter, we are a platform. So Pnet is not going to obviously respond to your job application. The company or the recruiter that you apply for is the one that are responsible to respond. So for Pnet, we bring everybody together. The jobs
We're the connector.
Yes. So once your profile is there, once you search, and then it's easy as that. You've got a profile on Pnet, and then you search for jobs, and then you apply. And everything that when you click apply, it doesn't come to Pnet. It goes straight to the recruiter. It goes straight to the person that ran the job. So moving on to the second question from Lee. He says, I've been applying for a year and have not received one interview. I have over 10 years experience, but nothing is happening. I need to know what am I doing for? Doing wrong. So first of all, I would hope Lee has watched the first live stream that we had put out, because we spoke in details about how to build a profile that will attract recruiters. And then if you haven't, please do go check it out. We do have it on Facebook and on our LinkedIn. And then if you've got quite a number of experience, and I think what Michelle also spoke about today on how
It's the same answer.
on how to then be able to spot which roles are suitable for you. And then, and it's the matter of upskilling yourself and always be ready for new opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, it is unfortunately a competitive job market. So it really boils down to the same two things: is the quality of the profile you've created and the content. Obviously, it also boils down to your actual experience and what you've studied, if at all, and then the extent to which that matches what vacancies recruiters have at that particular time. So the two answers are: make sure you've created a quality profile. And when I say quality profile, as Tuli mentioned, go and check out that live stream, which goes into a lot of detail about each of the fields that are required, and make sure you're applying for jobs that you actually have a 70% or more match for, match with.
Yeah. So please do go and just to that and just try and check. And then we're gonna move to Denise. Says any pointers on how to improve CVs?
Good question, because that's what we're going to chat about in our next slide.
Yes,
right?
we're not gonna give that all out, but we do have a lot of pointers on how to create and improve your CV if we're gonna talk about it. But we did touch on it today and on the previous one, just a bit in passing, but we will spend a lot of time just talking about CVs, and how to improve your money.
Yeah. So there's obviously your CV, there's the length of the CV, there's the content you put in there, there's the structure of your CV. We mentioned earlier that there's this, because we're living in an online recruitment space now, it needs to be crafted to go through an ATS, through an application tracking system. We also spoke in our first live stream about skills, so make sure you're putting as many hard and soft skills as you can possibly think of in your CV. We spoke about what to put in there if you're new to the job world. So we're going to cover all of that in, kind of bring it all together in our next live stream and talk about CVs and cover letters when it comes to crafting your profile as well as applying.
Okay. And then we go into while I'm reading that one, please take it. So we're not even talking about it, but we're gonna. Anya Brenda says, "Is my understanding correct regarding the following? To enhance your chances of being noticed by employers, it's crucial to incorporate relevant keywords to your CV. Many companies use filters tools to sift through applications, and then the more specific keywords you include related to your skills and experiences, the better your chances of being found."
100%. Yeah, absolutely 100%. Thanks, Anya. That's basically, we can take that and use that for our write-up for the next event, for the next live stream. That's what we're going to talk a lot about, is the keywords in your CV. How your CV and your profile live together. Again, job seekers make the mistake of uploading a CV but not filling out the profile, or the other way, filling out their profile but then not uploading the actual CV. So we're going to talk about how the two live together, and exactly that, how the keywords in your CV are so important so that you don't get filtered out of that shortlist when recruiters are recruiting.
Yes. I think, do we still have any more questions? But we are running out of time. So if there are any questions, guys, like I said, please keep them coming. Our support team will try to answer them as much as possible on the comment section. But we are running out of time. So, but before we go, Michelle, I want us to just, the key takeaways for today. What are like the top? Let me just say 5. What are the 5 key takeaways that, even if somebody is just watching now, they'll be like, oh, it is.
Yeah, I want to watch back. So do it first.
Okay, please can you just remind us about the 5 keys?
Sure. So the first one, I think, would be to download the mobile app. It's just going to make your, once you register on the PC, because it's an easier process to upload your documents, etc. And then once you've registered and you have a profile at 100%, come back to the app and browse and apply through the app. The second one is decode the job ad. So really interrogate the content of that job description and look at the extent to which you are a 70% plus match for that job description. The third one is linked to the second one, but I'm calling it out because it's so critical, is your skills match. Hard skills and soft skills. Don't forget about your soft skills, guys. they are equally important, if not more important, because your hard skills and your technical skills will show the extent to which you're able to do the job. It's your kind of your basic in to that application shortlist. The soft skills will indicate the extent to which you are a good match for that company, their environment, their company culture, their way of working. So don't forget about your soft skills and the extent to which you match what they're asking for. Number 4 is tailor your cover letter. Your cover letter and your CV if you can, but cover letter at the very, very least, and make sure it talks to the job description, not to the summary of your CV. And then the 5th thing is to go and set up those job alerts. Make sure that your profile set up, it's visible, it's happening, and you kind of, I say, just sit back and wait for the job alerts to roll in. But it's a little bit more active a process than that. But set up those job alerts so that you don't miss out on anything when something that matches your criteria is published on our site.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. And then just before we leave, I just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for all the amazing questions that you put out there, and we'll try our best to answer them. But before we leave, I just want to remind our audience there that we've got a grade pack. Amazing.
And awesome grade pack, 50 pages.
Amazing.
Jam-packed of content.
Yeah. So please download it, go to our website, pnet.co.za, and download it. And especially as a graduate, you really need that resource. It will, explain how to prepare for interviews, how to build a CV. There's so many how-tos that you will be able to get.
I think our support team will drop that blog link in the chat. They are nodding frantically, so it's been done. Yeah.
Yes, please do check out, and also make sure that you continue to follow us on our social media pages and you sign up. We also have a newsletter specifically for job seekers. We had our latest edition came up this week. Yes.
Yep, hot off the press.
Yes, came up this week, and then please do subscribe so that even if, because we have this live session every now and again, but the newsletter is out there on LinkedIn. Get all the information that you need to make sure that your job search journey is easier. What else? Oh, okay, and then make sure that you got for our next live stream, which just follow us on social media. We'll make sure that we update you.
Yeah, we're running out of weeks in the year, but we'll start working on it soon.
Yeah, we will make sure that we have one more before the year ends, just to get you guys ready for 2025. We'll give you all the tips about your CV. So come 2025, you are ready to land that dream job. But yeah, and then like I said, that's what we're going to diving deep into the world of CVs.
Yeah, hot topic.
Yeah. So with all that said, guys, I just want to thank you guys again, and just make sure that you follow us. We also have a TikTok account, so please do check that one out. And just have a conversation with us on all our social media pages. DM us, comment, engage with us. We will make sure that we respond to you. Thank you so much, guys, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.